Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Really tired. What
Wasn't
about
that
you?
weird weather this weekend? Uh
Rain,
hot,
snows.
nice, beautiful hot weather, torrential rain, and then a blizzard.
Yeah,
All
it's
within like 6 hours.
yeah. Well,
Welcome
you,
to Southern Alberta.
you don't like the weather? Wait like 5 minutes.
Right?
You'll get something new.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get something new.
Exactly. So we got lots to talk about today.
Quite a
Lots
few
of cool
things.
stuff. Yeah.
Quite a few things.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
should we? I
we
just
we
say
should
the
do the
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do the thing or am I going to do the
I'm
thing?
doing the thing I want to
Okay.
today. Thank you, everybody on this list. Super important. Um, if you're on here, and we appreciate you so much. Helps the top things. But you guys keep the lights on and all the projects going. Quite literally, um, if we didn't have you guys, we wouldn't have websites and stuff. So we appreciate you. Patreon.com/3dmake it if you want to be in the crowd. Right now, Discord benefits gonna reimagine kind of our Patreon this year, but for now, that's what it is. So, yeah. If you want to join and support the channel a bit, it's 3dmake.ca. Neato. I did the thing.
You did the thing. Thanks, everyone. We do appreciate you. So, we had lots of stuff happening lately. Do you want to go through the stuff we were just talking about? It's kind of out of order in our spreadsheet,
Yeah,
or
let's
do
go
you want to?
backwards.
Yeah, because I think that's more relevant. Because there's this consumer thing that happened.
Yeah, so like we got some like very nebulous things to talk about, but the biggest consumer thing that we know of is the CES show in Vegas.
CES.
It's giant and it's nerdy. And
I haven't
Creality
been
was
for a
at
while.
CES.
I
I've never been to
You've
CES.
never been to see you? We should like figure something out and go.
One day, one day. It
Yeah.
looks really fun. Creality obviously wasn't the only printer company at CES, I'm sure, but they did have some pretty big announcements, I guess you could say, at CES.
Yeah.
Um, one of the I guess bigger ones is they have now created their own Bambu A1 printer.
Yeah,
It's
it's
called the Hi.
the high. Hi. Now,
Hello.
now, now, do you think it was supposed to be called the H1? Is it
uh,
like the K1? And
I
then someone just said, "Hey, let's just call it high."
somebody in the marketing
Screwed up
team
on the
screwed up.
font.
I I mean that would just be fantastic
Because
if
then if
that
they
was
come
the
out with the
case.
H2,
It's a high two. Bless you. Right? Like
H1's
to
but
sneeze. So
so
there's
it's
the
pretty
printer
cool.
news. There it
It's
is.
it's I'm glad that more companies are making more variety of printers that work with the multi-material or the
Yeah.
multi-material, I guess multicolor systems.
The CFS, the
Yeah,
AMS, the I
yeah,
forget what. Anycubic has a printer that looks just like this, and I forget what that's the Cobra, but I forget what their multicolor configuration is
yeah.
called.
I don't remember what theirs is called. So, but it's and from the sounds of it, you can tie four of them together like just like
Mm-hmm.
the regular one,
So you get
so you can
16
have
colors.
16. Yeah,
Yummy.
which is neat, which is cool. I haven't seen a demo of it. Did you get to see like a demo
Yeah,
of it actually printing or anything?
no,
Or
like they had like a thing. I didn't watch all the way though, but there is a demo on the. You can find it. It's on their site. I was just looking at the extrusion.
Mhm.
For the trying to see the information for the extruder is the English words I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm just
Um,
curious if it has a cutter like bamboo
well, it's definitely
and
bigger
whatnot,
than their standard heads, and I do see like a cutter lever on it, so probably.
and it's like 260 by 260 or something by
Yeah,
300 or three something.
Yeah, of course they're gonna do that, right? Ours is bigger by 4 millimeters.
256 versus I
Yeah,
mean,
so
whatever.
automatic cutter, metal extruder gears.
Nice.
So they use a pressure sensor for the bed leveling, and it looks like they're using, and I quote, an integrated nozzle design. If it's integrated into the extruder, okay,
Or
I see what it is. So what it is
is it their
it's the
old?
unicorn model or
So
nozzle.
it's the one where you unscrew and the whole thing
Yeah,
comes out, like kind of like everyone's doing now.
yeah.
Like I think
Hey,
Prusa's
Helch. Good
doing
morning.
it. Hey, Halt. Everyone's kind of doing that sort of thing
Picture,
now,
picture,
right?
picture, picture. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that
Except Bamboo. Bamboo doesn't quite do it that way.
no, and which is fine. I mean, I like the way I like the way they do theirs. I like the way Quality does theirs.
Yeah.
So like, just flipping through, like it's like it says 500 millimeters a second. Um, so like this thing prints as fast as all the other flagship printers now. Um, the price point. Let's talk about that for a second. So, uh, let's go to the top. Here we go. I made it. Now I don't know
Yeah.
if
For
is that
470. You join me to look up
uh,
the Bamboo.
I put up the sure. I was trying to find the
Oh,
Canadian
you
price, but like, so if it's 460 Canadian, that would make sense in my brain because that would be about $700 American. But I don't see where
is that for the full kit
yeah, this is the kit. The printer by
with
itself was 270 something. I have the
so
link here too.
the Bamboo A1 with their smaller AMS
Mm-hmm.
um, is 629 Canadian. So that's the AMS with the spools that stick on the little stand. It's
Right.
not the enclosed one.
Yeah.
Um, so
So I
you
think
can't like put desiccant in it and help control moisture kind of thing. So it's slightly different the way they do it. But I
yeah,
mean,
then this is definitely gonna be the American pricing then, because then it falls in line with that. It's the same. Um, it's the same price basically. Hello, Canadian store. Do you have it? I doubt the Canadian store actually has it. It doesn't look like it yet. Reality high.
I'm on the
And
Canadian store.
and
Let's
what does
see.
it say?
Well, I'm just gonna.
What does
It's
it
not an
say?
ender, is it?
Nope, it's a high.
Oh,
okay,
hi series. Hi series. I saw it.
okay,
Hi series.
okay,
I'm clicking.
okay,
View more.
okay,
Please wait.
okay. Let me go back to the
What?
one
Why did it go to the ender? I told it to go to high series.
I don't think it's like working on all of their countries yet. So I'm
Oh,
willing to say though
that's.
that's the American pricing model for it. So I think it's around that 700. So it's the same price as competing with the
Oh,
Bamboo.
there. Got it.
Okay.
$589 Canadian.
Okay. So it's like
But that's the combo. And
yeah,
then the regular one is 379. So that's not.
and then
I mean, that's not terrible.
Bamboo A1. Let's find out, kids. Let's see what it is. So yeah, the Bamboo A1 combo is 629, like said, but its
And then
regular 720. So I don't know. This looks like regular pricing on the high. So if it's regular pricing versus regular pricing,
yeah.
it's like $200 difference. I I I don't know if they can do
Well,
that.
no, it's about $100 difference.
Well, it's 589 versus 720, so that's like
Or
$150. It's more than $100. Like regular price
six
to
six
regular
twenty
price.
nine. It's
Regular
620.
price is 719 though.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so like right now the bamboo's on sale at 629.
Yeah. Okay.
So regular price to regular price. So the next thing that we'll see from Creality is the A1 mini clone. Looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, we knew that. I mean, this is par for the course for Creality. They won't be left behind. They'll always look at what the competitors are doing, and if it's something new and they have not done it yet, they're gonna jump on board. And they don't just do a straight clone either anymore.
Yeah.
They actually put some thought into it now, which is
Uh,
great.
they clone and then go, how can we make this different enough? And then their engineers go, well, what if we give it 300 millimeter fall? Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Yeah,
Or
check.
4 millimeters.
Yeah. And how about we instead of the screen here, let's put it there. Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Helge. That's a good point. If you're buying a Bamboo Lab, they do have an announcement that I have yet to hear. Actually, I would have thought it
Yes,
might have come out at
there's
CES. I don't know.
no. I think they weren't quite ready, or they didn't want to pay CES,
Yeah, well, I mean, either
and
or.
yeah, and yeah. So we'll see because, and I think their announcement is going to be in February, or is it at the end of the, or is it
I don't know
in
anything. I
January here?
just know that it's coming. I don't know when.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm thinking it's going to be
I
a
think it's
larger
K
a larger one.
K2 size printer, right?
Yeah, we saw those rumors of a flyer of showing like a larger system, but
Yeah.
who knows? They could have a couple of different things that they're going to show us.
They're gonna um they're gonna throw a wrench in the whole thing, and it's gonna be a Delta. Okay. And going back to Delta printer. Actually, you know what? If anybody could make, oh, hey Dominic. No, no,
Hey,
sorry.
Dom.
Welcome. It's good to see you. The the yeah, there's nothing like solid on the announcement. It says they're going to ship a new flagship in Q1 of 2025. That's on the Bamboo's website. So Q1 is now. We made it. But
Yeah, but
it also
it
goes to
it's still
March.
March.
And we all
So
know how that works. If it's Q1, it's always like March 30th. Here you go.
it depends, you know. Um, who
Did you
knows?
pick
Maybe
up your phone and type good morning?
I did.
It's cute.
Well, but I don't have the chat up on my computer,
Oh, so you didn't. I get it. I was
so
like,
I
that's
wanted to say
great.
hi
I
to
know.
everyone.
Hello. Okay, you're right. You win. It's cute though. I'm just throwing it out there. It's cute. So that was kind of like Reality's big table, and I'm looking forward to Bamboo's announcement too. I will say though, like, um, Bamboo has really stiff competition right now from Creality specifically. Like the Kitty Techs, the Cobras, they're good. Like the Anycubics, they're good. But I feel like Creality has nailed like this flagship square box of a printer just as well as Bamboo Lab has. Whether that
Mhm.
is like because like we were talking about, right? Did they clone it? I don't know, right? They definitely did not clone everything until the K2 because that's when they moved the screen up, right? Because people are like,
Well,
well, why is there a giant hole in the door?
yeah, well, and people broke the doors and
Well, like yeah, but so the breaking of the door thing that was
that.
people's fault. Like
Oh, it
if you're
totally
gonna let your
was,
door do
totally was.
that, I mean,
But
come
you
on.
think you could design the hinge so that it wouldn't swing past to a point where it could have that much pressure on it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I,
Whoops. I I
I don't know. Yeah,
but I feel like so like when you look at some of the ones that broke, like the big ones, like Uncle Jesse as an example, because he did it
yeah.
on stream, like that door,
It
long,
swung fast
yeah,
too.
like I think
Like,
any door going to break like that.
right? Like, well, that's the other thing. You could put some sort of bushing in there to slow the swing too.
Yeah,
Like there's a little things you could do to
just make the hinges like that
yeah.
nylon, right? Drop that in there and then
Yeah, just like I
catch it a
mean,
little.
yeah. I mean, the one I have here, my X1E, um, the door's fairly stiff. Like they've added enough stuff to the hinge where it doesn't just swing freely. You have to pull it and push it,
Yeah.
and so it's not floppy. So shall
Is
we say?
is not a floppy.
Not that floppy. Yeah.
So the other thing that happened for Creality was they kind of like broke their brand apart a little bit. Uh, so they've always had filament. Like Creality has sold their own filament, but they
Hmm.
broke apart the branding now into one called Soylent, and then they have their other filament line. Or
See,
Soylent Nutant. I did it too.
so because it's not made of people.
It's not people. So, um, the Soy Lin brand of filament I got here. I'll share the I'll do the sherry thing. Um, so the Soy Lin filament is, again, it's like an Amazon thing. You can get it from their website too, but it looks like it's $16.99, but then it's no import charges and $8.99 to ship. Now I'm sure if you it doesn't say Prime or anything, and I'm not logged in, so I'm not sure about the Prime shipping thing with it. So it looks like they're aiming for that like budget area with their new filament. Um, Creality filament. Have you used Creality filament before?
I have. It's fine.
It works. It's
Yeah,
that's me big. Really.
the earlier stuff that they used to ship was crap.
Yeah.
And
Well.
I don't know if it was just because they put the little tiny little sample
Yeah.
in, and I
Little
don't know if it was
pasta.
sitting on the desk forever waiting to be sealed in the bag and whatnot, and it collected tons of moisture. I don't know, but it never that those little sample pieces never printed well.
That would be. It's people. That would be a great trademark. Dominic says. I love it. They should do
we
it.
make we make our filament with people.
Now 100% human. No, 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 no. I love it. So, um, yeah, Creality was pretty aggressive and had a nice showing at CES. That was kind of their big ones. There's a few other announcements, like they added some filament to their normal line, which is basically like the Hyper PLA, which is an
Hmm.
interesting topic in itself, right? Because
Yeah,
Hyper PLA is made to print fast at a lower temperature, right? Like it melts better, faster, lower. That's the additive they put in it. But
yeah,
like
but I
I
mean,
have
if you
to.
print at your normal temperature and then you print on a super fast printer, doesn't that kind of even out?
Well, the thing is like
Maybe.
maybe they're designing this filament to print faster on those fast printers. That's the point, right? Like so you could
Right.
get up to those. But like you're right. Like just I have printed the Hyper PLA. I've printed the Hyper PLA fast, and then
I never
printed.
purchased it.
What? I have two
No,
rolls, and I have one from Elegoo, one from Creality.
well, and I do believe our friends over at Spool also have a version
I think they
as well.
do for sure.
I saw it the other day when I was
Yeah.
placing an order, so maybe it's something we could test out and
Uh,
see if we. I honestly, if you have a printer that's printing well and you have a filament that you love, um, unless you're trying to do like a 5 minute benchy or something, you know, uh, I don't know. There'd have to be a really good use case for it. Um,
And then the other thing that people don't think about too. Now we all know elephant in the room, right? Greg knows, I know, you know, everybody knows. But like the PLA stuff, PLA is the corn-based filament, right? So it is more easily or more easily recycled than other plastics
yeah,
because like
400 years.
yeah. Well, no, I'm talking like I'm saying send it to a recycler, and then
Yeah.
they do the things
Oh,
to it,
oh
and then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
gone, right? Because there is stuff you can do to it that is quick, like months it's gone, but that's like industrial process. However, once you start hyper PLing and matte PLing and well, I don't know what are the other ones like
It's
super
good.
strong plus they get
It all of a
additives.
yeah, all of a sudden the PLA isn't just pure PLA anymore.
No.
Not that it ever was pure. They all have each
Hmm.
if you don't buy the same brand every single time and you buy whatever's on sale at the time,
Yeah.
the formula is going to be different for all of them, because it's not like one factory makes all of the filament, right?
No.
There are multiple, like they might get the raw pellets from one or two or three places,
Right.
but
Yeah.
then they're
It's
adding, whether it's they're adding glitter, whether they're adding some other chemical to soften it, or to make it hyper, like you were saying,
yeah.
or whatever. Like, they're all different. So like when you send it to recycling, you're getting an even more different product because you have to mix
Yeah.
all this stuff.
So, just spin back for a second. Hal asked a question, or had a statement. I don't know, question, statement. Is the Creality actually working now? Like start and print, not tinker, and sometimes to print. And yes, the Creality K1 series, and that includes the what is it, the Ender K. But the Creality K1 series is print it and forget it. Like out of the box, you open the box. It takes 5 minutes to take the 3 screws out in the bed, and it prints. Um,
they
it,
they're getting better all the time, and I remember, my first printer, or the which is Bear, which is taken apart long ago. Um, so much tinkering just to get it to even do anything, right?
yeah,
Like I could get it. It took me probably a while because it was messed up when I got it, and I had to kind of fix it. But I got it working and printed pretty good.
mm-hmm.
And then my next printer was Bumblebee here, and yeah, there was some tinkering and whatnot to get it to print. But these new ones, out of the box, go through the steps to properly unscrew everything and pull out your foam and everything, and
Yeah. Well, and it's
it's
literally
amazing.
there's 3 screws holding the bed down is basically the hardest part of the setup, and then the one thing I will say about the Creality like K series versus the Bambu Handy series, um, Creality still built the printer in mind for having it on a local network. So then
Mhm.
you still get like the web address you can go to on the Creality printer, and you get kind of like
Versus,
that
yeah,
fluidity page, but there's nothing
yeah,
like that on the Bamboo. You do everything
yeah,
through
yeah,
Handy or the slicer.
yeah. They I hope they evolve, and then they do that, because that would be really nice.
Yeah.
They
Now
have,
Bamboo does have LAN mode where it doesn't like send the job to the cloud and then do it. The slicer
yeah,
sends it directly
yeah,
to
but
the printer, but you still have to use the slicer,
yeah.
right?
And the other thing that they have now is, that was one thing they announced. I think it was like last month, or maybe it was early this spring. But all their printers are fully upgradable via SD card now. There's
Yeah, yeah.
right
Mine
through
got that
the, like,
firmware update. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you don't have to be online. So if you're someone who doesn't want to be online printing, and you're paranoid, whatever, or you just don't have a good internet connection. I mean, there's still
Well, or
people out
you're a
there,
business
or
making
yeah,
intellectual property, right? There's lots of reasons
there's
why you'd
lots of
want to.
reasons to do it.
Yeah,
If you're a government agency, right, and
yeah.
you want to run this, but you're not allowed to have anything on the network,
Mm.
you can now do that, which
And
is really
so
nice.
held. I don't know if you've. It's really good to see you today, by the way, too. But I don't know if you've
Yeah, haven't seen you in a
seen
while.
a few shows. But so Greg has a X1E at
Yes,
home.
yeah,
And the E stands for Enterprise, and that one has the network module in it that shuts off. But like I have a
yeah,
P1S at home,
yeah.
so like and like here's my review of a P1S versus the X1. They're the same, except the screens are nicer on the X1. And the AI print stuff on the X1
Yeah, it
is
has,
on the printer, not on the cloud, whereas mine
yeah,
is cloud driven.
and it has the lidar, but honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how well those lidars are supposed to. Basically, they print a little.
like a
little
test strippy
test
thing.
strip, and test strip varies the speed as it's drawing this test strip to gauge your filament that you're using at the time, because it could be different each time you print, and
Yep.
then it scans it with the lidar laser and whatnot to get the width, so it understands the flow rate, and so it works.
It does what it's
You
supposed to,
know,
but is it
so
necessary? I don't know.
but the
Maybe
P1P that you have, I think
P1S.
P1S.
P1P is the one without the sides.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
the
The
P1
P
doesn't have,
series, yeah.
the P series doesn't have that,
No,
right?
and it does, yeah, like the only thing it does with the priming line is draw the priming line. It doesn't,
Right.
there's no calibration on that part.
It still does all of the
It has everything else, like
everything
bed
else. Like
leveling
it has
and
it does the little gyration
accelerometers.
and
Yeah.
accelerometer and
Yep.
does everything else, um but your prints come out just
Oh my
great
God,
too.
like they're
So
great.
I don't know if that added little bit makes that
It's a
much of a difference. And to be fair, I haven't
mhm.
tried different nozzle sizes. All right. So I'm still on 0.4. I haven't experimented with 0.2. I haven't experimented with 0.6. Maybe when you change your nozzle sizes and whatnot, there's
Yep.
more mucking around and the LiDAR will
Yep.
kind of compensate for that.
Mhm.
I haven't tried that.
So Helge has another in chat thing. Thanks, Helge. Like the slicer and all the bamboo system, it works well.
It
Um,
does.
I just like everything that's online. And the cool part, again, like you're right, the bamboo system works very well together, and it works well in LAN mode, so that you could just have it on the Wi-Fi, not and it doesn't go to the internet, or you can literally slice it and just boonk it in, right?
Yeah.
So does the K1Cs, the K series, like their flagship series from Quality, um, they also work very well in like in a not networked mode.
Mm-hmm.
We actually just put out 24, 20 something like that. I don't know. Into our school divisions where we do our
Oh, yes.
workshops and stuff.
Yeah, we
Uh,
did our workshop,
and we're
and
very isolated. Like we don't let them online, and they work great.
and what was impressive was we had a room of 20 people,
Yeah,
and they all printed successfully first time, some of them never having touched a printer before.
yep,
It was so straightforward to set up. Bamboo is also very
it
straightforward to set
was.
up, but either way, it's night and day from our previous courses where we had to build. We actually had to assemble the gantry upright, and some people are just
Yeah,
not. It takes them longer. They can do it, but there's more skill or a different type of skill maybe they're used to there, that when they're doing that, whereas this, it's just learn the slicer and go.
yeah, and I like I really do believe like the Bamboo Lab and the K1 series, like setup wise and ownership wise, are almost the same thing. Um, but like I am very interested to see what the future holds, because it's like we really go in like bumps in 3D printing, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
Prusa was the first one, and then everybody's like, "Oh, that frame, that model works well," and then that's when
Yeah.
you had like the Anders, the CR10s, the Anycubic
Well,
Chirons, like
and we
all of
mentioned,
all that stuff.
I think we mentioned this last week or the week before, that in a couple weeks here, they've got the upgrade kit for the Prusa that makes it a Core XY,
Yeah, like there's just
which
all this
is
stuff.
they're finally, like, they've been building Core XYs for a while, but now they're going to take their flagship printer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's no longer going to be a bed slinger. So
One
that's kind of interesting.
and this revolution, like this I guess evolution revolution
I
in
think it's
three,
an evolution.
right? It started with probably the uh what's the printer you have, the little one?
Oh, the Voron series.
Yeah, it
I
probably
would say that
started
it
around that
broke
time,
out.
because
Like,
like that made it
it,
popular, right?
yeah, I wouldn't say they were first, but they definitely mainstreamed Core XY big time, because
Yeah.
it was such a leap ahead performance wise over the bed slingers, right? Um,
Hmm.
so and it was you could make your size and whatnot.
Yes, and the and then obviously like with that project, Clipper came along, and like all these
Yes,
pieces fell in for
and that I
companies
guess
and
that's the other big thing, big kind of the revolutionary part was the
hey Ray.
the change with Clipper that really kind of um, expanded what you could do um, with the higher performance because we were getting higher performance processors on the boards themselves,
Yeah, but we
but
weren't
we weren't really
utilizing them.
seeing the benefit of those completely. Like it definitely helped,
Mm,
but
mm-hmm.
once you take the processing to a true from 8-bit to like a
Yeah,
32-bit with decent performance,
there's a
there was
whole
there
lot
was a
of.
big jump there because of the input shaping, right,
Mm-hmm.
and the other features, right.
Well,
It was
the motion system could be more complex, and the
mhm,
system keeps up. The maker
yeah.
stuff and the system and the support, in my experience, works. Happy with the A1 Mini. After, so you have a Mini. That's interesting, Greg. He has a Mini. You know who else wanted a Mini? This guy. This guy wants the Mini just because I've always liked that form factor, and
Yeah.
I've never got
Oh
one.
man, do you know how many times we've had long talks about a one-armed printer and whatnot? He's like, I gotta buy that. I want the what was the Ender 2? Was
Yeah,
it the Ender 2?
the Ender 2 Plus or whatever they call
Yeah,
it,
and he's
Pro.
like, I gotta get that,
We gotta
and he
get
never
it.
did. He
No.
never did. So
Yeah,
maybe the high two
yeah, maybe.
or whatever
Well,
it's
we'll
gonna.
see what it is. Yeah, like, but like if you and Greg said it too, like we're lucky, and I think some of our viewers are lucky in the fact too that like we have access and uh access and not sponsorship, but I guess good use around our community of using lots of these flagship printers.
Mm-hmm.
We're very fortunate to be able to test them, so then we can
Yeah,
make like the um, make make kind of like a judgment call, and like in our day, like for what we want to buy for like our job, what we want to buy at home, like
yeah,
how we support it. Like we're very lucky that way, very blessed, and again, you guys have a lot to play with that with Patreon support too. Like some of the projects that we've had the pleasure of doing on the channel has all been because of stuff that you guys help us with. But
yeah.
um, I'm excited to see where the Bambu stuff goes, and the
Now,
Creality stuff.
now, do we want to talk about the thing above that I have highlighted, or do we want to jump to the other tools and then come back to that,
Well,
or
this
do
one's kind of quick, like the nine.
yeah,
This
it
is
kind of ties into what we're talking. All right,
yeah, this is
so
quick.
David threw in our show notes small differences with a huge impact: Bamboo versus Orca.
Yeah. Now I I get the opportunity sometimes to print things that should be useful, mechanically speaking, and I made a boo boo, and unfortunately the boo boo was bad. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how it happened and why. So there's a big difference in Bamboo and Orca slicer and Creality slicer if you do those. Um, and I'll bring over Orca Slicer and I'll share the screen here so that we can
I
all
think we need a David deep dive into
boom
the three systems.
the systems. So this,
Yes.
I think I'm sharing my screen. I'm just gonna make sure. I think it's sharing, but yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So this is Orca Bamboo. It looks. See, here's Bamboo. Looks the same. Um, now, the
And
Orca.
Creality looks the same too,
It
only
does
the
now.
controls
Yeah.
are on the other side.
Let's see if I can. Do I have the new one on this? I don't think I have
Oh,
the
yeah.
new one.
Don't break your system opening to all of them.
And crash.
Don't cross the
Don't
streams,
crash
man.
the trees. So I'm just gonna use Orca slicer to show you around. So Orca slicer, bamboo slicer, you can print bamboo printers, Creality printers. There's pretty good support for both, and they actually share a lot of similarities. So here's the bamboo one, and you can see like if I wanted to, is it setting? Hello, crash my computer. I'll click this setting gear. Uh-oh. Hey, it worked. So you can see it has
Ooh.
bamboo, it has Creality, it has Anycubic, it has all sorts of things, right? But it does have
Yeah.
the K series as well. So I'll pick a K series printer. Now this bamboo slicer is out of date a little bit because I don't keep this computer up to date on the slicers very well. But I wanted to flip to the strength tab. And here's what I learned the hard way. Now we all know that when we're making prints for functional things or load bearing things, the more walls, the better. That's 90% of the strength, with a little bit of the infill coming into play, right?
Yep.
Top and bottom leaders, big
Absolutely.
difference, right? Um, yeah, but can you open all three slicers, right, and be streaming on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna do it at the end of here, and then we'll see if it works. Um,
And render all slice 3 models at the
you
same
know
time.
what? Let's live on the edge.
No,
I
don't
did
do
it.
it.
I did it.
Don't do it.
So, on the strength column, and this is notice the Creality K1 printer right now.
Yeah.
So on the strength column, the Creality K1 actually is defaulting to 3 loops. So a lot of people wonder why. Why
3
does
walls.
the K1C take longer to print in bamboo slicer than a bamboo printer? There's this reason, and there's one more. But it all comes from strength and speed. Now, strength is the one I want to talk about because this is near and dear to our heart. So this is the default settings for.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it opened, guys. It's behind it. All 3, Greg. All 3. Okay. I'm sorry. That's really funny. Sorry. Okay. So we have the 3 walls. Now, if I were to flip to a Bambu Lab series, it's 2 walls default. So Bambu Labs in either slicer, or Orca or Bamboo Studio, the default is the same in both for both printers. So it's 2 for the Bamboo series and 2 for the K series. Sorry, my insulin pump alarm is alarming and I don't want it to go off every 2 seconds. My bad, everybody. So this difference between the two actually makes the Bamboo Lab print faster in most cases. Like
Well, and
just
any
default,
printer will print
right?
faster. Like it'll slow down, and if I go 4 walls, it's going to slow down.
Well, and that's it. So then, like, that's where the trap comes in. Is I was working in my K1 with the correct amount of walls, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna switch over. And since I didn't change any of these default settings, it didn't ask me to like, do you want to transfer these? Right? Like if you change, like if I physically change a setting, so I move my Bamboo to 6 walls, and then I change a printer, it goes, oh hey, you pops up and it goes, you've changed this. Do you want to use the modified value, discard, or save it as the new default? So like I'll just click discard right now. But like since I didn't change anything, those are the default print settings for those printers. So it's very easy to get caught. Now I did mention, and this doesn't have to do with like the structural, like the 3 walls or anything like that. But if you come down to travel and acceleration, that's the other area. Let's see if I can bring them both up here. So go away. There we go. You can see the bottom half of the mixer, guys. So if I were to look at the speed tab, and then I'm just going to scroll down to the K1C series into the acceleration and travel speed kind of settings, and here's our settings in Bamboo. And we all know that, or maybe we don't, but Orca actually unlocks more feature sets than Bamboo has, like visible. So that's why we can see there's a little bit difference in the offerings and settings. But like you can see that the acceleration and stuff in the K1C here, Like I have about 12,000 files on
12,000 versus.
5, right? Versus the Bamboo Lab where it's 10,000. So they both play this game to make it look like they're printing the same. One does it by increasing the speed, one does it by decreasing the walls. And honestly, I would prefer like um probably increasing the speed than decreasing the walls to win that game. But like
Yeah, I've
um
had prints that I had to actually slow down
and
to
and the
complete at least in
mhm,
sections of them, right?
100%.
I- And so there. I mean, speed is great until it breaks.
Well, and that is the other point to make too, right? Like when you're looking at the speed of your print job, there's a reason why Bamboo and Creality have tuned their printers to print this way with those profiles, and that's because and Helds, you hit on it before a little bit earlier. Um, that's because they want these printers to print well out of the
Yeah,
box,
and
right?
reliably.
My A1 prints great, or my A1 mini prints great. It's been great.
Now
And
you could still push it to the limits like you like to, David.
oh yes, I like to not almost break things, but like the like Helge has the A1 mini, and his comments like I love it, but I just want bigger, right? Like you have an X1 E, I would imagine you love it, right?
Love it.
I love my P1S and K1C. The manufacturers have finally learned that we don't want to spend 3 hours tuning in new slicer profiles, right? So it's a good thing. Held to comment. Once you get the settings and the buttons, it is a good slicer comparison to many other slicers. This did a better job, especially on supports. Yeah, I agree. So like, it's important to note that like Orca slicer and Bamboo slicer actually use the same slicing engine behind them.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the big
it's
thing is like you're saying those settings.
yeah,
Like
they're
someone they had to get those profiles from somewhere. So
yeah,
someone had those as their preferences and they put it. I don't think anyone deliberately um, put the settings in there just to it was someone's
yeah,
preferences when
100%.
they defaulted it.
Right.
So
And they use
they
the
didn't tweak them. So
manufacturers, but
definitely if you want the same experience in with the printer that you use all the time and you've got a slicer like that you like let's say you're using the Bamboo slicer and you love it but you want to try Orca and
mhm,
it's maybe not a standard, you know it's not, I don't know, it you want those settings exactly moved over, you're going to have to look through them and make sure that there's no gotchas like David was pointing out, and so you can
mhm,
tweak them, and then you can make a copy, and then you can compare the slicing between the two profiles to see, oh well,
yeah,
this speed does make a difference and I'm good with it, right? And
yeah.
then you can, because if you're used to one quality you want to keep it until you're ready to
Hmm.
tweak.
Now, one thing that I have seen on these printers, whether it's Bamboo or Orca or Creality Slicer, like I have not, like this is a literal statement, I have not tweaked a slicing profile in great measures in probably 4 years now. Like these slicers, the
They're
default settings
very
are great.
very solid.
It's just, yeah, remember, like I said, the gotcha that I have is an easy one to forget. Like remember the walls. Remember that if you want tree support, change that, right? Like there's a few things that you'll always tweak based
and
on
not
your print.
and not everyone uses multiple slicers, right? So like
No, I
so
try
so
not to, honestly. Like I use Orca, but like I've noticed that Orca doesn't hook nicely to the new Bamboo Lab firmware. So like
mm,
when I
well
try to
maybe
like
the
reprint,
next version.
yeah, right. But again, Orca is an open
Open source.
yes, thank you. Open sourced, and it has actually died once, and then they came back to it, right? Like
Yeah.
the main programmers did walk away and then come back, and then that was that. But I think this last two is really we got two more topics, and we got 15
Yeah.
minutes, and this is mostly the Greg show, and I'm going to be like this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've been ever since our little contest we had, and thanks for everyone who participated in it. We I've been really interested in these tools that are out there that for
Sorry.
actually
Excuse me.
generating 3D models and whatnot. And what's interesting is now this trellis is one that caught my eye. Um, Supposedly it's developed by Microsoft. I'm not entirely sure, but it's an open source project on GitHub. Um, there is there is a trial you can do. So I'm in the trial, and it's hosted. Jeffrey Zhang has it, and he's hosted it on huggingface.co. And so what I thought I'd do is I will take a model and just show you, like, it's gotten pretty good. So here I threw in Knuckles here, and I'm going to hit generate. Hopefully I didn't use up all my chances.
Your tokens for the day.
But this is just, so it's a 2D image. It'll take out your background. So you don't want to have a super cluttered image. And then it runs it through a process, and that was pretty quick. So this is the second time I've done it. I don't know why it's generating this weird thing at the back, but you can see that. I mean, that's a pretty nice 3D model, considering it never had any view of the back and whatnot. You've got the render, the mesh here, and then the actual color here. And now you can download it in two different versions. You can do a GBL, which is probably what you want to do. I don't know why it's not letting me download. I don't know. Oh,
You have
because
to
I
extract
have
it.
to hit extract. Sorry.
Yeah.
So they've got default settings here that you can play around with. I left them at default, but you can change the sampling rate and the seed rate and whatnot. And then you can also, how much do you want to simplify, and then how much do you want a really accurate texture map or not? And then you can have a download. So now it's processing, and then we'll be able to download this and bring this into whatever you want. You can bring it into, Fusion. You can bring it into whatever. It makes a model. You may want to clean it up.
Yeah, like Ray mentioned, bring it into Blender. Right?
Yeah, if
And
you want to
100%
refine it in Blender. So
mesh
here,
mixer.
so I don't know why it has this weird deformity on the back. On it, I've done this twice, and before it had like almost a shield here, but everything else is good. So that's something you may want to take off. So then you just download it. Boop. And then, whatever, save it. I'm just going to leave it at that sample, and away you go. So this one's really cool. It's, again, you can take this and download the code and run it locally on your local GPU. So you do not have to render it out on their servers. So if you have, a really good NVIDIA card, or if you have one of these new AI processors and whatnot, you can have this large language model process on your own computer to do your own rendering as much as you want. And these tools are good, and it's open source, and it's evolving. I thought it was really cool. I just wanted to demo that. The next one is called Backflip AI, which I'm apparently not invited to yet. I'm on the waiting list.
They don't like them.
But
yeah, you're right, Helge. It does save like heavy lifting.
Yeah,
sure.
and even if you're an artist or something, it's good. This one's interesting. Again, you have to wait to get invited in, but you can say I want to do a chess piece. This one's neat in the regards that you can put a text prompt in, but you can also upload your base sketch. So you can like put a base sketch and say, this is my base drawing or whatever, and then describe what you're looking for.
Yeah.
and it will then render it. Um, and these are the guys that did Markforge,
Okay, yeah.
that made this.
Yep.
Uh, and there's a few people that have some demos of this. I wanted to show it off, but apparently you have to wait. Maybe in
Wah,
another
wah,
show
wah.
we'll
Yeah.
be let in. But so you have the text prompt, you have the base kind of design that you have, and then it gives you 4 options of output, kind of like when we did the one from Bambu Labs, where you got the 4 outputs and you chose the best one of the model. So it kind of has that, and then it has a basic editor that it pops in.
Yeah.
So if there is like that big weird thing on the back of Knuckles in the previous one, you can go and edit that off and do some basic changes
Yeah.
to it, and then output it as your asset. Um, and so if you're making 3D video games, or if you're making other 3D designs, like I know Ray's wife does a lot of crafts and whatnot, and wants to make stuff for ornaments and whatnot, you can make really unique stuff that maybe you would take you a lot longer to get the base piece to start from. Now it takes minutes.
No, Ray has a really good question, and I do have some perspective to throw out at that question, Ray. And he asked, what's the average cost to any of these AI software in cloud?
So Trellis is 100% free.
And it looks like Backflip is also kind of free. I can't find a price on it.
Okay,
Uh,
so
uh,
Backflip has a free portion, and then
yeah,
they're going to have a pro portion.
yeah,
So
but they haven't set
I
that
don't,
up
I
yet.
no, I think it's in
Yeah,
early days. So there will be a cost for that, but the Trellis part that is completely free. Like I said, you can download it onto your own PC if you have like a GeForce card in there, or some other ATI card or something with some of the AI tools. With your CUDA cores, way to go. You can render it and do it right in your machine. They do
yeah,
have minimum requirements, so you can look through on the Trellis GitHub, and they go through all of the. Let's see if I can bring up the Trellis GitHub. Let's go back.
no. Well, he's looking that up. We talked about another one as well called
Meshy. Yeah, that was
before,
another one.
and like I do have a pricing grid on that one, and it's actually really similar to what other AI pricing looks like. So if you pay $16 a month, which is what they call their pro subscription,
Right.
you get 1,000 credits. If you pay $48 a month, you get 4,000 credits, and if you pay $100 a month, you get 4,000 credits, 20 tasks. You get like more compute, more everything. Now these AIs though are the free version on Meshi. You get 200 credits per month, but
Right.
Meshi, I want to say it took 20 credits to generate one thing. So like it's not credit per generation, and Copilot and those like they do the same thing. So the answer is the AI tools cost a lot, because if you're using them in your everyday and you need those credits, you're going to be paying that 40 $50 to $100 a month to be able to just keep generating, right?
Unless you get Trellis.
Well, and I mean, we say that now, and there are like you can download language models and run them on the open source on your side too, for like your own chat AI and that stuff. But the Trellis, did you find what you were looking for on it,
There's
or?
no cost to it, and I couldn't find I couldn't find the resources, but I think you need 8 gig of RAM as the minimum. Is one of the things I saw, and yeah, they. If we go on the GitHub code, we could probably get a little more detail on. But it's Microsoft that runs it, hey?
Apparently that's what it says, and
Yeah.
that's the one thing too is at any, it doesn't really tell you what the language model that they chose behind it, like the engine. So you really don't know. Like at some point, there's got to be a shoe that drops that something will cost somebody, but I don't see
Yeah.
much or I don't see much information other than it's
No.
free and you can like use it
Yeah.
as you wish. So I think that's a positive right now. It's a win. But yeah, on their GitHub, they definitely show you like all of the um, like model generations, and they got like pictures of Elon Musk and like this. It gets into like the thing, the realm almost of like, and we talk about it now and again, but intellectual property. Greg does
There
not
we are.
own.
Prerequisites. Found
Yeah,
it.
he did it.
Hey,
Greg
you
doesn't own
need
nothing.
NVIDIA GPU with at least 16 meg of memory.
Yeah,
The code is verified for NVIDIA A100 through
I
A6000
was gonna say it
GPUs.
has to be the A series. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, so the CUDA toolkit you need
yeah. So it's
and
CUDA
whatnot.
cores that you need, and
Yeah.
now,
So definitely need an NVIDIA. So now,
so these
so
CUDA, like those
the
laptops with the A series or desktops are about
yep,
$1,200 to start.
yep.
Right. So like,
But I mean, you're talking the new 5070
yeah,
from Nvidia is like $570
yeah,
US,
I saw that, and
which
apparently it
is
runs as good as the
which
4090 or something like that.
right.
It's like
So
ah,
like you could throw one of those suckers in fairly reasonably, like
yeah.
if especially if this is your career, like
But like, do
making
they have A
assets and
cores in
whatnot,
it, or just,
and
I
away
don't?
you go.
Because
Yes,
like,
there.
there's an actual A
No,
series
but
graphics
the
card.
5000 series, um, the 50 series from Nvidia has the AI built into it. It does like so many petaflops or whatever it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, but
But
it's not the A1000 that this says you should have,
no,
right?
but it should be fully compatible because of the CUDA infrastructure.
CUDA. Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
we're living in
it's
weird times, and
and
because it's
and
just getting
the
cheaper
cool
and
thing
cheaper.
is Microsoft has open sourced this to everyone, right? To develop it. So it is based on ChatGPT 4, I think. So they'll probably upgrade it in the future. Some of the stuff is based on that, um, but not all of it. So it's kind of neat.
And I mean, Nvidia's been really pushing um, what it can do
Mm-hmm.
in AI. That's where they saw the most gains, right? Because there wasn't a lot they could do to boost the performance mode more. So it's like, let's AI this and let
Yeah,
AI render stuff.
yeah.
The
I think
5070
I think we can go
Ti.
back to full screen if you want, David, because
No.
I don't.
Okay, he's done, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm all done,
But
Tony.
it's pretty cool. I thought everyone should be aware of this because I mean a lot of people in our group do have gaming PCs or a video card that probably could handle this. So if you're interested in tinkering um, and and doing some modeling and whatnot without being an artist and a modeler, this could be a good way to do that kind of stuff. And especially if you want to print more specific models that you like, um, this could be a really good way of doing it. And we're in early days here. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is, I mean, how long has this project been out? This project has been out for, looks like 2 months.
Uh, but it just goes to show like the
And how
distribution
good
of
it is.
language models and the ease of actually integrating them are now. And again, like
It's amazing.
coming from like a consumer perspective, it's amazing. Coming from somebody who's not a consumer that worries a little more about like um, data protection, governance, and copyrights and that,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
But if
Cause,
this is a
Cause
tool
you
for your
just stole
workflow,
Knuckles. right? You know what I mean? You didn't
Oh,
draw
oh,
knuckles
totally,
and
totally. But like it, but I'm also not an artist, right? So if I drew, let's say, a helmet, and I want it as an asset in a game, um,
but
and
you're
I
not an
can
artist.
then,
How'd you draw the helmet?
but let's say I was an artist, right?
Hmm.
And I want to reduce my workflow to get this helmet into the game and do my pieces of armor and build up my character. All of a sudden, I can take something I'm good at, maybe drawing, get it going, and then now have a 3D asset out of it that you can
Hmm.
then rework with your team, and away you go.
Yeah, and Raymond hit on that, like your point too. Actually, right now he says something I think the wife would check out because he's got a couple Blender books, and it's like you say, if you can draw it and then scan it, it's a good starting point, right?
Right.
And
And
but
and yeah,
it's
I mean,
it's
it's amazing.
what it can
and
do
and
is
and it's only been
impressive.
2 months. Wait, what's this going to look like as the models and stuff evolve over the next 6 months? Like, I'd like to revisit this project,
Mm.
or some of the. I mean, everyone else is going to be. Who
It
knows? Maybe the
depends.
other projects are going to use this as their basis underlying to do their commercial product. I don't know, but I'd like to revisit this in like 6 months or whatever, and kind of see how has it changed,
I
right?
think the biggest thing with any LLM is it can succeed or fail based on how the usership trains it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
remember Microsoft's Twitter bot that went all racist in like a couple days
Yeah,
and they had to take it
yeah.
down, and that
They
was
need you need
people.
guard you do need guardrails and
Yeah.
this and that. But the one thing I think is cool is if you're bringing this and using it locally on your um, machine, there should be some training that you can do with your assets, right? To
Yep.
to make it more relevant to your workflow, and keep your assets private because it's in your environment, right?
I'm sorry, I'm 12. It was funny. Um Yeah, and you're 100% right. But we will revisit this. But on that happy talk, I'm gonna push a
Yeah.
button and do a thing. Hold on.
All right.
Thank you everybody on the list. You're really important to us. We really appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe if you like today's video. If you want to join the Patreon Discord, like I said, there's gonna be some reorganization, but you can find us on patreon.com/3D
Plus
Make It,
3D Maker.
or you can check out www.3dmakeit.ca because of all our wonderful patrons that help us pay for that webpage, and we have other information up there. And I feel like it's a time for a webpage revamp too.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
time.
wonder if there's an AI tool for that.
There is. There are many, actually. But man, that sure flew along today, fellers.
It
And
did. It did. It was great.
it was,
Thanks everyone for
thanks for
joining us.
joining. Yeah, we'll see you next week. I think it should be good.
I think so.
Yep. So until next time, friends, adios.